Item D, adopt a resolution approving the city manager's recommended water and wastewater enterprise fund budgets for fiscal year 2011-12.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, Ed Binsoon, Finance Director. On June 28th, staff presented the city manager's recommended 2011-12 water and wastewater operating budget for City Council consideration and approval. In order to provide additional time for City Council review and consideration of these budgets were postponed and rescheduled at a later date within 30 days. Tonight, I'm bringing forth these budgets for your consideration. The 2011-12 water revenues budget include the third year of the three-year rate program that was approved by Council in 2009. The operating expenditures also include funding for a rate model update that was just talked about for your consideration for this year. In the wastewater budget, included in the revenues are also, again, the third year of the three-year rate program. And also in terms of the expenditures in the wastewater budget, costs, the cost for complying with the Baykeepers and the Regional Water Quality Board settlement agreements, again, something you just talked about, have also been included. These are just the operating budget costs and not the CIP costs, if I can point out. So with that, my staff's recommendation is for the City Council to consider the 11-12 water and wastewater budget, and I'm available to take any questions you have on these two budgets.
Any questions of staff?
Through the chair.
Rico.
First, I want to thank the council and staff for allowing us more opportunity and time in which to review this. I also know that I have a very high standard, and I appreciate the extra time that staff has spent in answering the questions and getting me further information. When it comes to these items, as I indicated before, I think it's important, as the mayor said, we had some criticism for the rates increases, but it was to help the infrastructure and try to maintain the system. And what I hope and wish in return is that we owe it to the community that we represent as the elected officials, as well as to the ratepayers, that we diligently go through and do our appraisal assessment and give our commentary and recommendations in order to know that the dollar is being spent wisely. In going over some of this information with staff, these are some things that that stands out that I think we need to look at in the future. That when we have and this is from the staff's information, when we have a water rate comparison with other jurisdictions, Cal Water is at $49.73 for an average monthly bill, and we're at $62.12. I think it's the right thing to do to ask why and what can we do. I know when we have the CMMS system that has an annual support of $16,130, and those are the things that are supposed to help manage the system and what the operations are. When we had it the first time come up in July of 2010, it was an annual cost of $6,500 divided by 4 divisions. When we had an item come up back in 2007, the initial, there's almost an $8,000 annual cost that wasn't really specifically spelled out in the staff report. Now, correctly, logically, you would assume that there is some ongoing maintenance costs for these programs. But I think these are things that we need to think about in the bigger picture and make sure that we're taking the time and the diligence to make sure, again, things are being spent wisely. We're going to be hiring a management analyst that the position's been open. Now we're going to fill it because it obviously has a need at this time. And that part of that person's position per staff is going to be helping to manage the system that we initiated back in 2007. I think we need to be able to make sure when we're investing in these things, when we're going forward, that we think of the big picture about staffing, implementation, and an effective timetable. So I know staff brought up to my attention that under publications and subscriptions, the Central Garage, there's $1,500 that hasn't been utilized in the last 2 years. those are the type of things that I'm saying that I wish us to do our due diligence, to lead by example, and if it's not needed, then it needs to be reviewed and withdrawn from the budget. The director has said that item can be withdrawn from the budget since it hasn't been utilized in the last 2 years. I don't want to go on and on. I want to say that I'm appreciative again of the staff's diligence and effort, and I know that they have a more full understanding, and I have a lot of my questions answered, and so I am going to support and vote yes for this. That might surprise them, but I'm going to. But going forward, also when we have these items coming up about equipment purchases, head count, or budgetary items, I'm hoping that the information, some of the items that I brought up, the detail, thinking forward, making the right decisions and recommendations to this council by staff is really thought of and thoughtful for the community that we all serve. Thank you.
Since you're satisfied, would you like to introduce the resolution for
push.
adoption?
Through Chair, I'll introduce the resolution
Okay.
for adoption.
Councilmember Ibera.
Aye.
Councilmember O'Connell.
Aye.
Councilmember Medina.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Salazar.
Aye.
Mayor Ruane.
Aye.